Welcome to BWC News. I am Elizabeth. It has been quite some time since the U.S. government proposed a policy of economic decoupling from China, but even among the circle of U.S. allies, opinions on this policy vary. The attitude of Germany, as the leader of the European economy, is naturally crucial. According to media reports on January 23 news, German finance minister and leader of the Free Democratic Party Christian Lindner told the media it is not in Germany's interest to have our economy decoupled from the Chinese market for jobs. Lindner stressed that because others will take our place. Germany is not only the leader of the European economy, but also has the deepest economic cooperation with China. The total annual trade between China and Germany exceeds 200 billion euros, and famous German companies such as BASF and Mercedes-Benz have a lot of business cooperation in China. Not to mention the German finance minister, even people with the most basic macroeconomic knowledge are well aware of the huge impact that a decoupling of the two economies would have. In this sense, the German finance minister's statement that the decoupling of the Chinese economy hurts the German economy is very rational, but he is simply re-emphasizing a fact that is well known. Even the U.S. can hardly afford to decouple from China, despite the constant calls from the U.S. for countries to do so. U.S. tech companies are feeling the chill at the beginning of 2023, with U.S. tech giants Microsoft Corporation and Amazon.com announcing and implementing their layoff plans on January 18, with the former planning to cut 10,000 jobs and the latter 18,000 jobs. In addition, Twitter Incorporated also continues to make layoffs, meaning that after Musk takes over, the percentage of layoffs at Twitter will probably exceed 75%. In addition to the aforementioned U.S. tech giants, 30 U.S. tech companies have said they are going to make massive layoffs of more than 10%. Layoffs at 4 of the biggest U.S. tech companies total 51,000 jobs in the past few months. They have fanned fears of a recession. Even as the U.S. job market remains tight. And Bloomberg even pointed out that throughout 2023, the total number of job cuts in the U.S. tech industry could reach 97,000, the highest recorded in more than 20 years. It should be said that the reasons for the wave of layoffs in the U.S. technology companies this year are very complex, and may be divided into two main reasons. On the one hand, the recessionary impact of the U.S. economy has seriously affected the expectations of these companies. Before 2022, due to the U.S. government's massive monetary easing policy, resulting in the U.S. economy during the epidemic not only did not depression, but also signs of overheating. And in 2022, as the U.S. economy begins to face the threat of recession as the Federal Reserve continues to adopt monetary tightening, U.S. technology companies finally realize that they have misjudged the situation in the past. Simply put, these companies overestimated the level of economic development in the U.S. and had to go back to their miserable lives and start laying off employees to cut costs. In addition to the lack of confidence in the overall economic development, another important reason, I'm afraid, is that the U.S. government's policy toward China has led to a less than expected prospect of Sino-U.S. economic cooperation, causing U.S. technology companies to feel great pressure. A very central part of the Biden administration's proposed economic decoupling from China is the decoupling from China at the level of science and technology. The U.S. government's aim is to stop China's technological progress by establishing a comprehensive technology blockade network against China. However, the U.S. government inevitably has to cut off U.S. companies from China in its siege of China, a move that has also led to economic losses for U.S. technology companies. On the one hand, the U.S. semiconductor companies are quite dependent on the Chinese market, and many U.S. semiconductor technology giants correspond to China for more than half of their sales, so the Biden administration's sanctions will directly harm the interests of these companies. On the other hand, although the United States has a huge advantage in chip technology, but China makes the most chips in the world. Last year, the U.S. lost a full percentage point of economic output, or hundreds of billions of dollars, according to White House estimates, due to a shortage of chips. If the United States next to decouple from the Chinese supply chain, then the capacity shortage alone will cause a huge impact on U.S. companies. Overall, this round of layoffs at U.S. technology companies comes against the backdrop of a recession in the U.S., compounded by the deterioration of U.S.-China economic cooperation and other effects, and there is little the Biden administration can do about it unless it changes its policy toward China. However, it can be expected that the US government would rather suffer losses itself than easily change its policy toward China. Even if the US side wants to crack down on Chinese technology by blocking it, it cannot stop China from getting technical support from the rest of the world, and the US side cannot even stop local US companies from continuing to work with China. In the foreseeable future, the US will maintain its technological advantage for a long time, but China, with its market advantage and its institutional advantage of concentrating its efforts on big things, will be able to gradually narrow the scientific and technological gap with the US through concentrated investment and external assistance. In this sense, China is now not in a head-on conflict with the United States, and is solidly maintaining foreign cooperation, which is a technically superior development measure that will allow China to truly catch up with the United States in the long run. Although this process will be long, and may even take decades, China has in the past crossed over from an agricultural country to the world's top industrial country despite being poor, and in today's favorable situation, it is a predictable thing that China will gradually take the lead in the field of science and technology later. It's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to support. See you next time.